Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Lights Over Loveland. This is Justin, and I decided today that I would just make a video to check in and see how everyone's doing. And I guess I've kind of had a lot of stuff going on in my life the last couple weeks. We found out some unfortunate health news with my grandma, my kid's great grandma, and found out that she has a cancerous tumor that they cannot operate on. It's like by the bottom of her esophagus and by her lungs and all that stuff. So just trying to keep a positive mental state to try to send the best energy I can to her and help in any way I can. So I've had that on my mind. Found that out about 2 weeks ago now. And if you'd like to send prayers, I would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, since that, I haven't really been keeping up on the UAP stuff too much. Um, Today, I listened to the newest Jesse Michaels podcast with Chris Ramsey from Area 52 on there, which I actually thought was really good. Chris has such a like good way to look at everything with him being a professional magician. He just looks at things differently than how the normal person may. And then Jesse Michaels just is a wealth of information, and he can just makes all these connections from all the knowledge that he has of ufology, like all the the old stuff and all the different cases and how they link into each other with all these different scientists and all these different military programs that were being run and everything. So it was really fascinating, and uh, I just thought it was a great conversation to listen to today. So I'd highly recommend checking that out. Um, yeah, and then on top of that, I've said it a couple times in my videos, but I have been looking for a new job, and I was looking for like 3 or 4 months with not really any luck whatsoever. Um, Even jobs that I should have definitely been given an opportunity. For example, my friend's wife works in a manufacturing plant, and they pretty much hire anyone. And I am like a veteran with experience, and I she referred me the job for the job the day that the posting was listed, and I applied the very next day, and 3 days later I got hit with a denial. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of ghost listings out there. I applied for, I don't know, close to 20 jobs, and the only one that even reached back out to me for an interview was actually Safelite Auto, um, installing car windshields, and I decided I didn't really want to do that because that involved, it said, working 6 days a week, 10-hour shifts during peak season, which that's summertime, and I personally love BMX, skateboarding, hiking, camping, and I was not about to do that to my summer. So after trying to find a job and getting disheartened a little bit because applying for jobs is a lot of work. It takes a lot of time, effort, energy, and that's probably also why it's been hard for me to keep up making videos lately, because that was putting all my energy into that. My extra time, which I usually use for making content, whether it be for this page or, like I said, I love BMX skateboarding. I post that on my main page, just clips of me riding for fun. And yeah, when you spend an extra 20 plus hours of your week applying for jobs, it takes a lot out of you. But I've tried to keep a very positive mindset through this whole process. Old me would be angry and pissed off and not understanding what's going on, but I understand that everything is going to work out the way that it's meant to work out. And it gave me time to think and try to decide, what should I do? And since I was a veteran, I have my GI Bill, which I used some of it so far to get my associates, and I finished that in 2020. And I was working and going to school, and it was just way too much. So I decided I was just going to stop there. I just continued working my same job, and yeah, I didn't really know what to do with that for the longest time. And recently, my wife just happened to get a promotion at work, and I now have an option where I can go back to school full time. So it'd be a little bit of a pay cut, but not anything that we can't manage. So I officially decided that I was going to go back to school. So I applied for CSU, got accepted, and yeah, I'm going to get registered for the fall semester. So come school this time, like I'm going to be a full-time student, and I'm really excited actually. I haven't really had a break for myself since I got out of the military. My son actually had open heart surgery just days after I separated from the military, and I didn't have a job or anything at that point. So as soon as we got back from his surgery, it was just a mad dash to find any job I could. So I took the first one working in a manufacturing plant that I could find, making minimum wage. It was like $10 an hour, which was a massive pay cut. And yeah, I've just kind of jumped around from warehouse to warehouse for the first couple of years, and I've been at my current job now for 7 years, and I'm just ready for something more. And going through this spiritual awakening journey has made me realize that I wasn't valuing myself. I was listening to actually the Acid for Squares podcast from last week with guest. Let me get this correct because it was a very good episode. Anita Morjani. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce her last name, but it's episode 33 of Acid for Squares. I highly recommend. It was so good. It was so fascinating, and it could be biased because of everything I'm going through in my personal life, but yeah, she had an NDE and she actually died, and learned so much from going through all that. She had cancer that took her to the point where she went into a coma, whittled down to like 80 pounds, and yeah, she was dying, and had this near-death experience where she left her body and she was greeted by her ancestors and was shown visions of her in the future. And she didn't understand why they were showing her that, and they said, you need to go back. Now is not your time. Like, you have work to do. And there's this mass like point that we're all going to right now, and I'm seeing it in so many different categories, and I think that's why people are having experiences like this and coming back and needing to speak about consciousness and the other side, and what are we exactly. We're not what we think we are, or we've been made to believe. And this is just more like a vehicle. My body is not me. I am controlling my body. But yeah, I believe consciousness, my consciousness, all of our consciousness, because I think we're all one. We're just slivers of the same consciousness experiencing everything at the same time. But yeah, the greater consciousness is outside of this physical form, and it's controlling this physical form. And outside of this very limited vehicle that we're in, just think of it as like your car, and it has a governor on it. Like, we're very throttled down. We can our throttle is at like 1 mile per hour. Like, we're going nowhere compared to what we're capable of. So yeah, once we can remove the governor, things are going to be so, like, I can't even imagine. Like, we could have everything that we've ever wanted, but it's going to take people not being selfish and greedy, and for just got to work together. We got to realize that we're all in this together. Stop letting a few people dictate everything. But anyways, yeah, from her near-death experience, she was shown visions of her future life, and then she came back, and I think she said within a couple days of coming back that the tumors had shrank 70%, and then within 5 weeks it was completely gone. It was in remission, and she lived her vision that was shown to her. She had this talk on stage in front of thousands of people explaining and helping. And what I think these experiences are doing are just, they're opening up what we believe is possible. We've been so close-minded as a population, as a species, I guess, for so long. And, you know, it's time to realize that we have power. We are so amazing and beautiful and powerful. And it's going to take us waking up to that fact and living our true authentic selves. We need to stop judging people. We need to stop just... There's so many levels on this. I could go so deep. Yeah, I don't know. So I've been really trying to work on my mindset lately. And that's even how I think about people. And for the last year, worked about what I think about myself. But sometimes still those stray like judgments come into your head, and you like judge someone, or you don't even realize you're judging someone, but you're judging someone. And I've just been really trying to be cognizant of my thoughts that are in my head, if they're even my thoughts to begin with. That's a whole nother thing. But I just think that we just need to send out as much love as we possibly can. And, you know, I think thoughts are forms that are created, and we may not be able to see them. But they are energy. They are energy that you can send to someone else. You know, the best example is, say you're thinking about someone, and then they call you. Now, were you picking up on their energy? Did you send out that energy to them? Like, it seems like too strange of a coincidence for it to just be like, oh, I was just thinking about you. Like, how many times does that happen in your life? It's because we are all connected. And, yeah, so when you think, that's creating. And you may not know it, but you can send those bad vibes to the other person. It also can affect you depending on what you listen to, what kind of music you listen to, all that stuff. I used to listen to hard rock, very angry, and yeah, it was always like fight back and, you know, uprise from the darkness and all that kind of stuff. But what I found was it was making me an angry person. Like, subconsciously was adding to my anger. So now I listen to a lot of reggae, which is all about opening your consciousness and happiness and love one another. And yeah, so like I said, through this whole journey, I am a completely different person than I was when I started it. And it went from me thinking there was just aliens in the sky above me, which I went out as a joke. gonna go see the aliens, because all this stuff was on TikTok at that time. And yeah, it's just evolved so much, and it's just gained so much more of a deeper meaning, and it's not something people should joke about or make fun of. I think we are all seeking answers, but I think we can all find them if we go within. That's where a lot of answers have come for me, and it's kind of just been like puzzle piece after puzzle piece of information that I've like been listening to that have been guiding me on this path, to the point where, you know, I'm so far beyond where I was when I started with just thinking these were like, I don't even know how to like to start, like just physical aliens in outer space, to now I don't know. I really don't know exactly, but the options are so much more exciting and fun now than they were in that time. Now I believe that they are interdimensional beings that possibly work for creation or help guiding our evolution. And yeah, I think we're getting to a high enough level of our consciousness that things are going to start bleeding over. Like if everything's a frequency and you're changing the radio dial, and there's that point where you're going in between stations, and it's like sometimes you're in this station and sometimes you're in this station. I think that's what's going on. And it's going to be a bleeding of those stations or those realities. And yeah, so I think they're here to help. I think they're guiding us. I think they've been here all along guiding us. We're completely unaware of them because we're too caught up in fear and violence and war and killing, instead of, hey, how can I help out my fellow man? You got a lot going on. What can I do to help out? Instead, it's how can I make sure they don't come kill me? Like, why is everyone so worried about everyone killing each other? Yeah, I think the majority of the people on this planet are not worried about killing each other. I think it's a select handful of very greedy people who are dictating how this planet's being run, and they tell us all how to behave and how we should feel. And it is a planned algorithm that makes you feel a certain emotion, and that is what's been ruling our lives for at least my entire existence, if not longer. Like, since the invention of mass communication, I'm sure there was the first thought that went through someone's head is, how do we weaponize this? And that's the problem. It's the problem with everything. That's why nothing's changed. That's why we're still having wars. That's why we're still fighting and not really gaining anything. Our resources are depleting. Our planet is dying. We just need to work together. We need to get rid of all these fake imaginary lines on this planet, because we're all, guess what, stuck on this planet together. We are all the same. Why are we doing the stupid stuff that we're doing? And I know it's not even we. It's the select minority of a percent that is dictating everything for all of us. So, yeah, I think we should all come together, realize that we're sick of all this. This is not what we were promised, and we want better. And I don't care about who did what or any of that shit. Just fucking start it over. Like, if we're so caught up in the details of how are we going to transition away from this, we're never just going to do it. So, you know, did a lot of bad stuff happen? Yeah. Did a lot of bad stuff happen in history? Yeah. But I think we just forgive whatever's happened and just move forwards. That's how you handle things properly. That's how you deal with things. You don't hide and run from your problems forever. You got to be an adult sometimes. Pull up your pants. And as much as you don't want to, you just have to tell people what's going on. Or you're just going to keep, never mind, you're just going to keep feeding off all the wild speculation, the fear that's running rampant that will never cause any change. Because the algorithm is planned to keep us stuck. So until we break the cycle, it's never going to change. It's what I had to do to change my beliefs, my thoughts, was I had to recognize when I was stuck in the thought loop, the negative thought loop, and break it. Right now we're stuck in the negative whatever loop is going on this planet. We need to break it. Stop and be like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this to each other? Do we truly hate each other? Or are you just following some belief that someone else instilled in you? Is this your own beliefs that you're even fighting for? That you're willing to go to war and die for? Yeah. This is real life. It's time to grow up. You know? It's time to stop acting like children. It's time to acknowledge that we've been wrong so we can move forwards. But anyways, I don't know why this video turned into this or ended up being this long. I guess I had a lot to get off my mind. I didn't even talk about anything that I wanted to talk about, really. But yeah, if you happen to listen to this whole thing, thanks so much for being here. Let me know down below what you think. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's feeling the way I'm feeling, and that's just ready for the childish stuff to stop so we can move forwards. So stop with the secrets. We all know there's a secret. Just tell us. But yeah, so all right. Well, I will catch you all in the next video, and I hope you have an amazing day.